Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna. I welcome all the devotees for this special session on the 10 characteristics of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy as described in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita by Svarūpa Dāmodara Gosvāmī. Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu took his sannyas at the age of 24 and he wanted to go to Vrindavan immediately. But Nityananda Prabhu tricked Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu and somehow diverted him to Shantipur. So after sannyas, Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu again came to Shantipur and he met his dear devotees, including Advaitacharya and all the other devotees of Navadvip. So then Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu then also met Sachi Mata. Sachi Mata became very overwhelmed with emotions, seeing her beloved son in the form of a sannyasi, first time with shaved head. Okay, she became quite emotional. And then Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu expressed his emotions to Sachi Mata, saying that, "Oh, my dear mother, I'm really sorry. I have just taken this sannyas, but I will not be indifferent to you. I will always hold my gratitude and love and affection for you eternally. You are my eternal mother and I am your eternal son. So somehow out of my madness for Krishna, I have accepted this sannyas order. So please forgive me, but I will just listen to your instructions. Wherever you want me to stay, I will stay." Then Mother Sachi said, "Okay, you can stay in Jagannātha Purī." Because Sachi Mata understood that after accepting sannyas, if the sannyasi stays with family and friends at home under the loving care of mother, so common people will criticize that sannyasi. So Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu, if he stays with Mother Sachi, Sachi Mata will be very happy. But if people criticize Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu, then Sachi Mata will be very unhappy. So Sachi Mata said, "Okay, fine. So let my son not be criticized by anyone for staying with family and relatives even after taking sannyas. So let him stay in Jagannātha Purī." And Jagannātha Purī and Bengal are like two rooms in the same house. People who are staying in Jagannātha Purī, they will come to Bengal to take bath in Mother Ganges river. And people who are staying in Bengal, they will go to Jagannātha Purī to take darshan of Lord Jagannath Ji. So thus, if Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu stays at Jagannātha Purī, we keep getting his news constantly. So Mother Sachi thought that it's a good idea that Mahaprabhu stays at Jagannātha Purī so that we can keep hearing about him. So Mahaprabhu agreed. So Mahaprabhu then went to Jagannātha Purī. So on the way, his dear devotees like Nityananda, Jagadananda, Damodara, Mukunda accompanied Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu. So Mahaprabhu reached Jagannātha Purī. He settled there and he made Jagannātha Purī as his headquarters after sannyas. Then one day, Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu felt that I must go to South India and teach people to perform Harinam Sankirtan. Okay, I want to give Krishna Prema to people of even South India. So he, with this intention, Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to go to Jagannath for a South India Yatra. So he went. So as soon as he went to Jagannātha Purī, he settled there. Hardly a couple of months passed, maybe 2, 3 months, 4 months passed. Immediately he went to Jagannātha Purī. Immediately he went to South India Yatra. And South India Yatra lasted for 2 years. So he did South India Yatra and then he came back to Jagannātha Purī after 2 years. then all the devotees at Jagannātha Purī, including Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and many other devotees, they were feeling intense separation from Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu. They were feeling that, oh Lord, you have come and just settled here, but immediately went for yatra. And 2 years yatra, not 2 days yatra or 1 week yatra, 2 years yatra. So knowing that Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu settled in Jagannātha Purī and completed his South India yatra and came back to Jagannātha Purī to stay there forever, several devotees have assembled at Jagannātha Purī. Right? Many devotees are coming from different places just to be with Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu, okay, and to have his holy association. So to purify themselves, to nourish themselves in the holy association of Lord Caitanya. So Mahaprabhu came back, and many devotees assembled there. And one such devotee who came to stay with Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu in Jagannātha Purī was Svarūpa Dāmodara Gosvāmī. So Svarūpa Dāmodara Gosvāmī loves Lord Caitanya a lot, and he has come to Puri to be his constant companion. As all of us know, the purpose of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu's descent is twofold. So firstly, Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to distribute Krishna Prema to everyone and establish Yoga Dharma, which is Harinam Sankirtan. That's like one set of reasons. They are called external reasons for Lord Chaitanya's descent. And there are more confidential reasons or personal reasons Mahaprabhu had. That is to experience the mode of Srimati Radharani. So Radharani is the topmost devotee of Krishna, and Krishna wanted to experience the mood of a devotee, so he took the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he accepted the emotions and complexion of Radharani and started feeling separation from his own self. So this we know Mahaprabhu's main reason for his descent. So initial days, like in the initial few years of his sannyas leela, Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu he did a lot of preaching. He distributed Krishna consciousness and spread Bhakti Yoga. But after some time, towards the end of his manifest leelas, close to his disappearance pastime, Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu started experiencing the feelings of Radharani more vividly. So he was constantly absorbed in intense feelings of separation from Krishna. Okay, he would stay in Gambhira and he would just experience that feelings of separation from Krishna. So in those days, two devotees constantly assisted Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu, because Mahaprabhu is with the emotions of Radharani thinking about Krishna. So Svarūpa Dāmodara Gosvāmī and Rupa Ramananda Rai, these two devotees would always be with Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu and remind him of specific Krishna's pastimes according to his particular mood. They would recite from Gita Govindam, they would recite from many other works of Chandidas and other devotees who described Radha Krishna Leela. Thus, they are constant associates of Lord Caitanya. So now Svarūpa Dāmodara Gosvāmī is a very, very intimate associate of the Lord, and he would also act as a personal secretary of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Right? So this Svarūpa Dāmodara Gosvāmī wrote a beautiful shloka. Actually, as soon as he met Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu, he spoke a beautiful shloka in which he described Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy in 10 ways. Right? 10 characteristics of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy is described in that one shloka. So today, in the next 1 hour, we are going to discuss based on that shloka. What are the 10 aspects of Mahaprabhu's mercy? Fine. So Kaviraj Goswami says in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adbhuta Chaitanya, Adbhuta Dayalu Chaitanya, Adbhuta Vadanya, Aiche Dayalu Data Loke Nahi Suni Anya. So Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu is the most munificent personality, Adbhuta Vadanya. So his mercy is really wonderful. Aiche Dayalu Data Loke Nahi Suni Anya. We can't see anyone who is as Dayalu as Lord Caitanya. Dayalu means compassionate. Okay. Nahi Suni Anya. We don't hear anyone. Okay. being so merciful like Lord Chaitanya. Krishna in his various incarnations, he showed mercy on several people, but the mercy that he showed in the form of Lord Chaitanya is really unparalleled. Sarva bhave bhajaloka Chaitanya charana yaha haite paiba Krishna prema amrita dhana. So that's why Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is urging all of us, please worship the lotus feet of Lord Caitanya Mahāprabhu. Yaha haite paibe Krishna premamrita dhana. By worshipping the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya, you will attain the treasure of the nectarian love for Krishna. So in the previous session, we have discussed elaborately how the greatest longing or hankering of a living being is to love Krishna, is to be loved by Krishna. So we all love Krishna more than anyone else, and Krishna loves us more than anyone else. Right? No one else can love us as much as Krishna loves us. Even if the living beings commit very sinful activities and become very lower species, enter lower species, the Lord continues to stay with them. The Lord is interested in their relationship and he stays right within their hearts. Okay, thus Krishna loves us more than anyone else. So to revive our Krishna prema, to experience that Krishna prema and to express Krishna prema, we need Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy. Okay, because Krishna himself came in the form of Lord Chaitanya and is giving us that Krishna prema. He is Krishna prema pradayati. Okay, so we have one little story how Mahaprabhu is so merciful. That is demonstrated in this story. You know, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya once called Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu to feed him prasad, and Mahaprabhu finally agreed to his request and he came and started eating the food that he has given. However, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's son-in-law, Amogha, he came there and he started criticizing Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu. He said, this much food 10 people can eat and this one sannyasi is eating it alone. So, without any sensitivity towards the situation, not recognizing that this Mahaprabhu is a great sannyasi and he's a host of my father-in-law Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. This Amogha, this criticized Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu, insulted him. Then, after some time, he got cholera. Okay. So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya became very upset with Amogha. He said, let him die, because he offended my Lord. He was very upset with Amogha. So, but Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu went to Amogha and relieved him from his cholera. He said, oh Amogha, your heart, you are a Brahmana, and Brahmana's heart is meant to have love for Krishna. So I am supposed to be sitting in your heart. Why did you allow this envy and pride to enter this heart? This is my place. So our heart is a place of Krishna's pastimes. If you allow envy to come and sit there, pride to come and sit there, greed to come and sit there, and many other anarthas also, if you allow them to come and sit there, Krishna will not be comfortable to sit there. We should keep Krishna comfortable within our hearts. So we are offering our hearts to Krishna. Krishna, please come and sit in my heart. So we should keep the place clean from all anarthas. Okay. So Amogha became little critical earlier, but by Mahaprabhu's mercy, he is relieved from all these critical tendencies and envious tendencies and proud mentality, and he was cured of cholera also. Immediately he developed love for the Lord. So although Amogha offended Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu is very merciful upon him because he is connected to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. So Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu is extremely merciful because he doesn't just punish the offenders or sinful people, he would transform them. He would show mercy upon them. This is like one small incident that demonstrates Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy. Sri Chaitanya Samara Kripalu Vadanya Bhaktavatsala Nadekhi Trijagate Anya. So Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu is the greatest merciful personality. So you can't find anyone equal to him. Gauranga Gosvāmī says, Bhaktavatsala Nadekhi Trijagate Anya. You can't find anyone who is more merciful towards his devotees than Lord Chaitanya. He is extremely merciful. Right? Not only is merciful towards his devotees, he is merciful to those people who are connected to those devotees also. He is merciful to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, and he is also merciful to Amogha, who is connected to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Although Amogha was an offender. Okay. So now let us see the 10 characteristics of Lord Chaitanya's mercy based on the shloka spoken by Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Helo dhunita khedaya vishadaya pronmela dhamodaya shamyak shastra vivadaya rasadaya chittarpitonmadaya shashvad bhakti vinodaya samadaya madhurya maryadaya Shri Chaitanya daya nidhe tavadaya bhuyadamandodaya. So in this shloka, the word daya comes 12 times, 12 times. Okay, you can see I have highlighted this daya word in all the lines of the shloka. So daya, 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 like that 12 times it's coming. And this shloka describes 10 aspects of Mahaprabhu's mercy. Right? So let us see this shloka line by line. First, Helo Dhunita Khedaya. Second, Vishadaya. Third, Pronmila Amodaya. Shamyak Shastra Vivadaya. Rasadaya. Chittarpitonmadaya. Shashvad Bhakti Vinodaya. Samadaya. Madhurya Maryadaya. Shri Chaitanya Daya. Nidhe Tavadaya. Bhuyat Amando Udaya. Fine. These are the 12 dayas. Now, let's see the meanings of this shloka. First, Helo Dhunita Khedaya means Lord Chaitanya's mercy drives away all material lamentation. If you take shelter of Lord Caitanya Mahāprabhu, all the material miseries and material lamentation and hankerings will be destroyed. First point. Second aspect of Mahaprabhu's mercy, Vishadaya. His mercy purifies everything. Right? Everything will become very pure by Mahaprabhu's grace. Third, Pronmilat Amodaya. Mahaprabhu awakens spiritual bliss, divine, transcendental bliss. Fourth, Shamyak Shastra Vivadaya. In Shastras, there could be some kind of disagreement sometimes. Have you ever experienced, you read some point in some scripture, and in another book, you find the same pastime described in a little different manner. Okay? So that's about pastime, we can understand, fine, no problem. But philosophy also. Okay, that's why we get in our Bhagavad Gita class and Bhagavatam class, we get so many questions. Okay, because sometimes one shloka says something, another shloka says something, we cannot reconcile it so easily. It's a little difficult to reconcile these multiple statements, multiple philosophical truths. So, but Mahaprabhu's mercy mitigates all disagreements of scriptures. Okay, in a very broad sense, we will discuss that. Then fifth, Rasadaya means Mahaprabhu distributes rasa, means mellow, transcendental, spiritual mellows. Sixth, Chittarpita Unmadaya. So Mahaprabhu's mercy causes jubilation of heart. Chitta is heart here. So Unmadaya. So we become very jubilant and happy and blissful at heart by Mahaprabhu's mercy. Seventh, Shashvad Bhakti Vinodaya Samadaya Madhurya Maryadaya. Shashvat Bhakti Vinodaya means he's always, Shashvat means always, eternally, he stimulates bhakti, devotion, devotional service. Eighth, Samadaya. Not only he stimulates bhakti, he also gives us the full ecstasy and joy that accompanies bhakti. Samadaya. Next, Madhurya Maryadaya. Madhurya here indicates Madhurya Rasa. Means the love for Krishna in the conjugal flavor, Madhurya flavor, like that of the Gopis. So Madhurya Maryadaya, Mahaprabhu's mercy glorifies this Madhurya Rasa to his highest limits. So to the highest limit Mahaprabhu glorifies. How? We will see. We have 1 hour to see this. And 10th, last aspect, Amandodaya, Bhuyad Amandodaya. So it awakens all good fortune. Right? So these are the 10 characteristics of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy. So now let us see these 10 characteristics in one by one. So let's see the shloka once again. Helo dhunita khedaya vishadaya pronmila dhamodaya Shamyak Shastra Vivadaya Rasadaya Chittarpitoन्मादaya Shashvat Bhakti Vinodaya Samadaya Madhurya Maryadaya Shri Chaitanya Dayanidhe Tavadaya Bhuyada Mandodaya. So the shloka says, Helo Dhunita Khedaya, first aspect of Mahaprabhu's mercy. He easily drives away all material lamentation. Fine. So in the material world, the conditioned soul constantly laments because of material miseries. But Mahaprabhu's mercy drives away those lamentations, all kinds of lamentation. So now Mahaprabhu is the mercy incarnation of Lord Krishna. So how Mahaprabhu smile, how Krishna smile, how the Supreme Lord smile drives away all lamentation is depicted in the 28th chapter of the 3rd canto of Bhagavad. So we'll speak of some shlokas which are specific to Mahaprabhu also, but let me speak something from Bhagavad. How the Lord's mercy drives away all lamentation. Lord's smile drives away all lamentation. Shloka says, Hasam Hare Ravanata Khila Loka Tivra Shokashru Sagara Visoshanamatyudaram Sammohanaya Rachitam Nijamaya Yasya Dhrumandalam Munikrute Makaradhvajasya Hasam Hare Avanata Akhila Loka Tivra Shoka Ashru Sagara Visoshanamatyudaram means the conditioned soul is undergoing so many miseries and is crying constantly, is lamenting. So with his lamentation, with his tears, he has created an ocean of lamentation. But when we go in front of the Lord and see the beautiful smile of Lord Gauranga, then the entire ocean of lamentation will be dried up within a moment. Okay. This is how the Lord drives away all lamentation by his smile. The smile. Hasam Hare. Lord Gaura Haris. Haris or Lord Gaura Haris. Compassion or smile has that kind of enlivening effect. Now, we have been discussing this example earlier also. So Vasudeva, leper, he was suffering with leprosy, but Mahaprabhu cured him. So now, relief from this leprosy is not the only aspect of Mahaprabhu's mercy. Somebody got leprosy, Mahaprabhu cured him. Somebody got cholera, Mahaprabhu cured him. So is this mercy? Yeah, it is mercy in one sense, but that is not the only aspect of mercy. So Mahaprabhu relieved who is that Amogha from his cholera, but he did not just relieve him from the external physical bodily disease. He relieved him from the internal disease of envy, pride, critical mentality. Right? So we need to understand that Mahaprabhu's mercy is not just on a physical plane. His driving away of lamentation is not just on an external plane. It is more internal. Right? It's on a spiritual plane. So he will, like material desires will create material lamentation. Right? Mahaprabhu destroys those material desires and material lamentation will not arise only. Okay? In that sense, he drives away lamentation. In the case of Vasudeva leper, Dhanyam tam naomi chaitanyam vasudevam dayardradhi nashtakushtam rupa pushtam bhakti tushtam chakarayah Dhanyam tam naomi chaitanyam. Dhanyam, it's extremely fortunate to come in contact with Mahaprabhu's mercy. Dhanyam tam naomi chaitanyam vasudeva dayardradhi. So Mahaprabhu is extremely merciful upon Vasudeva. Fine. So there are three aspects of Mahaprabhu's mercy on Vasudeva. What are they? Number one, Nashta Kushtam. He relieved him from Kushti. Kushti is leprosy. Fine. Then second, Rupa Pushtam. He gave him a beautiful form. But these are external. Third, Bhakti Tushtam. He made him completely satisfied in bhakti. So this is the real mercy. Because the first two, Nashta Pushtam, Rupa Pushtam are also mercy, but Bhakti Tushtam is a greater mercy, deeper mercy. So Mahaprabhu's mercy drives away material lamentation and doesn't stop there. It gives spiritual bliss. Right? So in the first aspect of mercy, we see that Mahaprabhu drives away material lamentation. Bhakti Tushtam, Mahaprabhu filled Vasudeva's heart with gratitude, with love, with affection, with prema for Mahaprabhu. He already had a lot, but that became more, even more. Mahaprabhu relieved him from some external disease, right? So upon seeing Vasudeva, because he had leprosy, even sinful people also used to run away from him. His body would constantly emanate some kind of foul odor. Okay, but Mahaprabhu came and embraced him. So who can embrace a person who is affected with leprosy? So without any reservations, two people. When even if the child has some disease, mother's emotions are so high that mother wants to come and embrace, or the father wants to come and embrace. So parents who have so much love for the children, they would like to embrace their children, even if the children are affected with something. Of course, later doctors will give them some intelligence. You should not go close. Don't express your love at this stage. At least he has some infection, so they may say. Now you see, Krishna jumped into Kalya Lake. So that's very dangerous. Everybody knows that. But seeing Krishna in Kalya Lake, Nanda Maharaj wanted to jump into Kalya Lake. Balramji came and stopped. So these emotions are beyond logic. When you become emotional, logic goes for a toss. Okay, logic doesn't work there. Okay, so Nanda Maharaj's emotions for Krishna are so intense that he could not think. If I go inside, I will just die. But he just wanted to go and rescue Krishna. Okay, without even considering whether it is within his capacity to rescue. So like that, when there is intense parental affection, then one can show mercy on son or dependent. Now, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had intense loving affection, bhakta vatsalya toward his devotees. So that's why he did not hesitate to embrace Vasudeva leper. Fine. So Lord Gauranga, being very compassionate, cured him from leprosy and transformed him into a beautiful man, and also satisfied him with devotional service, bhakti tushtam. So Pratap Pradhar Maharaj has heard this incident. Oh, Mahaprabhu went and embraced a person who has leprosy. He must be the Supreme Lord. Only the Supreme Lord can do this. So father, a parent, or the Lord. Okay, two people can show affection. Okay, so the Lord is both. Okay, he's the eternal father of everybody, and also he's the Supreme Lord endowed with all powers. So he went and embraced him. So now Mahaprabhu's mercy enables and inspires people to become eager like honeybees for the honey of Krishna Prema. Just like honeybees are very eager in search of their honey. They go from one flower to another flower to get some honey, right? Similarly, Mahaprabhu inspires all of us to hanker for the honey of Krishna Prema. Right? And also he removes the burden of burning fever in the material world. So there is a lot of fever, not just the temperature, bodily temperature, the fever of material enjoyment. So there is hankering for material enjoyment. Mahaprabhu relieves us from that. Kathanchana smrite yasmin dushkaram sukaram bhavet vismrite viparitam syat Sri Chaitanyam namamitam. So when you remember Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, dushkaram sukaram bhavet, even the most difficult task can become very easy. But if you forget Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the easiest task can become very difficult. Okay, so let us remember the merciful Lord Chaitanya. Okay, Kathanchana smrite yasmin dushkaram sukaram bhavet. So next, second aspect of Mahaprabhu's mercy, that is Vishadaya. Vishadaya means purifies everything. First, Mahaprabhu's mercy drives away all lamentation. Second, Mahaprabhu's mercy purifies everything. Vishadaya. Okay. So let's go deep into this second aspect. Ye saba prasade likhi Chaitanya lila guna, ya ichheta ichhe likhi kari apana pavana. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says with great ecstasy in Chaitanya Charitamrita, he says that ye saba prasade likhi Chaitanya lila guna, with the mercy of Mahaprabhu's devotees, I am writing Chaitanya Charitamrita, and I don't know how am I writing, but I am writing this apana pavana kari, just to make myself purified. My intention in writing Lord Chaitanya's pastimes is for my own purification. So we need to purify ourselves by exposing ourselves to the nectarian descriptions of Mahaprabhu's pastimes. Okay. So further, basically Mahaprabhu purifies everything. That's the second aspect of his mercy, right? So Mahaprabhu, hearing Mahaprabhu's pastimes will purify us. Okay, that's the shloka that I just quoted. Now, Mahaprabhu purifies all of us with the most effective method of Harinam Sankirtan. He induces everyone to chant the holy names of the Lord and he purifies everyone. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's ultimate method of purifying everyone is by distributing chanting. The method of chanting. Cheto Darpana Marjanam. Purification. How will the purification of heart happen? Cheto Darpana Marjanam. That happens by chanting the holy names of the Lord. So when we chant the holy names of the Lord, then the mirror of our heart is cleansed from all dirt. So mirror, when it is very dirty, we cannot see our own reflection in the mirror. Right? One may say, did I put my tilak or not? One may want to see in the mirror. But mirror is filled with so much dirt. How can you see? So by chanting the names of Krishna, the mirror of our heart becomes purified. The impure heart becomes cleansed of all misgivings. That is Mahaprabhu's mercy. Okay. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says that even the most impure-minded, ardent materialists can become pure-hearted devotees if they just offer a flower to Mahaprabhu's lotus feet. Just a flower to Mahaprabhu's lotus feet. Let's see the Sanskrit, very sweet Sanskrit shloka. So we have not been asking the devotees to chant. Okay. Karthik and Kamakshi, you can chant this shloka.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Sumanaha sumanastvam hi
Kumana sumanastvam hi
yati yasya padabjayoh
yati yasya padabjayo
sumanorpana matrena
sumanorpana matrena
tam chaitanya prabhum bhaje.
tam chaitanya prabhum bhaje. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhamat Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Are you able to see me and hear me now? Okay. There was a power cut suddenly. For a minute. So we were discussing this beautiful shloka. Kumanaha sumanastvam hi yati yasya padabjayoh. So kumanaha means people who have bad minds, impure minds, contaminated consciousness. Sumanastvam hi. They will become pure-minded people. So bad-minded people become pure-minded people. Yati yasya padabjayoh sumanorpana matrena. How does this happen? Just offer a sumana. So sumana here is flower. Here sumana is good mind, pure consciousness. Here in the third line, sumana is a flower. So you offer flower to Lord Chaitanya every day. You try to offer flower. Karthik Kamakshi, you can offer flower to Lord Chaitanya. So kumanaha sumanastvam hi yati yasya padabjayoh tam Chaitanya prabhum bhaje. So if you just offer a flower to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu can purify our consciousness, impure consciousness, right? So next shloka, next aspect of Mahaprabhu's mercy. So second aspect is he purifies everything. Fine. There are many other shlokas. I'm just limiting myself. There are 10 sections we need to discuss. Third, Pronmela Dāmodara means he awakens transcendental bliss. Fine. So how does he awaken transcendental bliss? When Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in South India, he met so many people and he induced them to chant, and he awakened bliss. And these people who met Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu, they would go to their respective villages and they would induce their other relatives to chant, okay, their villages to chant. So like that, just like virus spreads, right? Coronavirus spreads from one person to another person, another person to another person. Like that, Mahaprabhu is spreading inspiration to chant holy names everywhere. Okay, so it's a real way of spreading virus. Say, Hare Krishna Mahamantra became viral in those days, right? And even now also, by Mahaprabhu's sincere followers, the chanting of the holy names of the Lord is becoming viral. Thousands and thousands of people are blissfully chanting the holy names by His mercy. So, Krishna Name Ye Ananda Sindhu Aswadan Brahmananda Tara Age Khato Daka Sam. So, Krishna Name Ye Ananda Sindhu Aswadan. So, chanting the holy names of Krishna is like relishing an ocean of happiness. Ananda Sindhu Aswadan Brahmananda Tara Age Khato Daka Sam. And even Brahmananda, the happiness of merging in Brahman, that also is, that is like some small pond in comparison to the oceanic happiness of chanting the holy names of Krishna, right? So that's the effect of chanting the holy names of the Lord, and Mahaprabhu is freely distributing that process of chanting to everyone, right? So one more thing which is mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita, when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met Rupa Goswāmī and Anupam, his friend, his brother, they offered this beautiful prayer to Lord. Yashoda, are you there? Yognanamattam bhuvanam dayalur ullaghayan apyakarot pramattam Krishna, are you able to hear me? Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
But again, there's a power cut today. So, Yognanamattam bhuvanam dayalur ullaghayan api akarot pramattam swaprema sampat sudhayadbhuteham Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahāprabhu. So, yo ajnanamattam, people who are too much caught up in ajnana, in ignorance. So, what does Lord Chaitanya Mahāprabhu do? He will relieve them from their ignorance, and he will bestow upon them the great spiritual knowledge, and he doesn't stop there. He will give them Krishna. Right? So just it's not just relief from material ignorance. Vivadaya, Rasadaya. Shamyak Shastra Vivadaya means Mahaprabhu mitigates all the disagreements of scriptures. The Shastra Vivadaya. Shastra means scriptures, Vivada means disagreements. So, to be more specific, there are certain statements in scriptures that emphasize the difference between the Lord and his energies. And there are some statements in the scriptures that emphasize the non-difference between the Lord and his energies. So Mahaprabhu reconciles both. By Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy, we understand that we can understand the tattva very easily. That's what the shloka says. Sri Chaitanya Prabhum Vande Balo Piyadanugraha Karennana Matagraha Vyaptam Siddhanta Sagaram.
Sri Chaitanya Prabhum Vande Balopi Yadanugraha. By Mahaprabhu's mercy, even Bala, even a child also, Tare Nanamatagraha Vyaptim Siddhanta Sagaram. He can easily cross over the big ocean of Shastric conclusions. Now, Shastra speaks so many things. Right? In scriptures, there are so many things. Now, for example, in Bhagavad Gita, take the smallest book. Bhagavatam has 80,000 slokas. And there are many other scriptures that has thousands and thousands of slokas. So Bhagavad Gita has just 700 slokas. Within the 700 slokas, you have Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, discussion about three material modes. So many things are there, right? So, but by Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy, even a child also can understand the essence. Okay. So, when we were discussing the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita in our children's course, Gita course, I was speaking about second chapter, 31st sloka till 37th sloka, where Krishna says, "Oh Arjuna, if you fight in this war, if you are defeated, then you will die and attain heaven and enjoy there. But if you are victorious, you will enjoy the kingdom of Hastan." Fine. So enjoyment is guaranteed. Either Svargaloka enjoyment or Bhuloka enjoyment. So one child asked the question. Multiple children asked, why Krishna is speaking about Svargaloka? We need to go to Goloka, right? So essence, which is Bhakti Yoga, is known to even a child by Mahaprabhu's mercy. Right? Most people who are little religiously inclined, for them, two options are there after death, hell or heaven. And their aspiration is to go to heaven. An average person, an average dharmic person aspires to go to heaven. So they think that, okay, after death, we will go to heaven or hell. But not many people have the understanding that we can go to Goloka, we can go to Vaikuntha, Yadgatva Nanivartante Tadhama Paramamama. But by Mahaprabhu's mercy, even kids also can understand. We are experiencing that very well in our children courses, right? So Balopa Yadanugrahat, even a Bala, even a small child also, Yadanugrahat, by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, Tare Nanamatagraha Vyaptim Siddhanta Sagaram. One can cross over this ocean of philosophical truths. There is Siddhanta Sagara. So Siddhanta, so many philosophies are there, so many doctrines are there, so many philosophers and so many spiritual leaders come up with different kinds of philosophies, right? So to cross over all of them and come to the conclusion that the essence of dharma, essence of spiritual life is to love Krishna, is to serve the Supreme Lord. To come to this point is very difficult, but by Mahaprabhu's mercy, even kids also can come to that conclusion very easily. That is Mahaprabhu's speciality. Okay. So, Nana Mata Graha. Graha means crocodiles. So, this Siddhanta Sagaram, this ocean of so many Siddhantas by so many philosophers, it's like an ocean infested with so many crocodiles. But a kid also can cross over that. Fine. By Mahaprabhu's mercy. Yasya prasada dagnopi sadyah sarvagnatam rajet sasri chaitanya devo me bhagavan samprasidatu. Okay. Yasya prasada agnopi. By Mahaprabhu's mercy, even Ajna. Ajna means an ignorant person. Ignorant person also can become sarvagnata. An ignorant person can become all-knowing and a wise person by Mahaprabhu's mercy. Sarvagnatam rajet. That is Mahaprabhu's mercy. So now let us see what is the specific contribution of Mahaprabhu to understand Shastra. Shamyak Shastra Vivadaya, right? We have been claiming so much based on the last two shlokas. We are claiming that by Mahaprabhu's mercy, even children also can understand Siddhanta. Even ignorant people also can be enlightened with the wisdom of scriptures. So how exactly Mahaprabhu reconciled the contradictions in scriptures? As I slightly said sometime back, in the scriptures, there are some statements called Abheda Vakyas. Abheda Vakyas are those statements that say that we are one with God, or there is no difference between the Lord and his energies. And there are Bheda Vakyas. There are some statements in the scriptures that emphasize on the difference between the Lord and living beings. Okay, both are there in the scriptures. So when we consider the Abheda Vakyas literally and to take Veda Vakyas figuratively, we become Advaitvadis. means Abheda Vakyas, means there is no difference between the Lord and his energies. That is Abheda Vakya. You overemphasize on that Vakya, that statement, and ignore the Bheda Vakyas. Then you become an Advaitavadi. But if we overemphasize on Bheda Vakyas and ignore the Abheda Vakyas, then we become Dvaitavadis. The Lord and you are different. Okay? So Advaitavadis say the Lord and you are one. Dvaitavadis say the Lord and you are different. But both are true. We are qualitatively one with the Lord and quantitatively different from the Lord. Qualitatively, we are same as the Lord. He is spiritual. We are also spiritual. He is like an ocean. We are like a drop of ocean. He is like a big fire. We are sparks of fire. Right? Qualitatively, there is oneness. The Lord and we are spiritual. He is Sachidananda. We are also Sachidananda. He is eternal. We are also eternal. Right? But quantitatively, there is a difference. He is Vibhu and we are Anu. He is infinite. We are infinitesimal. So we need to accept both. Vedavakyas are true. Abhedavakyas are also true. So we are simultaneously one with the Lord and different from the Lord. Means we are qualitatively one with the Lord and quantitatively different from the Lord. That's how Mahaprabhu combined both. Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva. Don't focus only on Bhedavakyas and don't focus only on Abhedavakyas. Reconcile both. Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva is the Tattva given by Lord Caitanya Mahāprabhu. That's why he's called Shamyak Shastra Vivadaya. He reconciled all the contradictions in the Shastras. Okay, so that's what Mahaprabhu's contribution is from the philosophical side. So now Mahaprabhu propounded Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva, the simultaneous oneness and difference between the Lord and his energies, which is inconceivable. Okay, if you find it little ambiguous, understand is also inconceivable. Just like, see, golden ornaments are made from gold in the mine, isn't it? So gold in the mine and gold in your earrings or in your necklaces or in your bracelets or anklets, it's same, right? So that gold and this gold are same, but we can't take one little lump of gold and hang it around our ears, right? You take one gold biscuit and hang it around your ears, and then take a little lump of gold and put it around your neck. It doesn't look good, right? So they have to be transformed into necklaces or bracelets or other ornaments, isn't it? So there is oneness between the gold mine and golden ornament, and there is difference also. You can't qualitatively both are same, both are gold only, but presentation wise, golden ornament is more appealing and more usable than a lump of gold in the gold, right? So that's similarly there is a difference between the Lord and the Jivas. At the same time, there is a oneness also. So Mahaprabhu reconciled these shastric differences. So next, by Mahaprabhu's mercy, even a fool can understand Shastras. Sri Chaitanya Prabhum Vande Yatpadashraya Viryatah Sangrahnatyakarad Vratad Agnaha Siddhanta Sanmani. So even Agna, even an ignorant person also can collect the Sanmani, means jewel like Siddhantas from the scriptures by Mahaprabhu's mercy. Okay. So there are many such statements. This is another beautiful shloka. Divya Krishna, you can recite. Bhakti Siddhanta Viruddha Arara Sabhas.
Bhakti Siddhanta Viruddha Arara Sabhas.
Punitena Haya Prabhura Chittera Ullas.
Punitena Haya Prabhura Chittera Ullas.
Whenever Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu hears something, Rasabhas, Siddhanta Viruddha, means somebody speaks against the right Siddhanta, Mahaprabhu doesn't get impressed with that. Rasabhas, if someone unnecessarily mixes different rasas like Vatsalya Rasa, Madhurya Rasa, you cannot just mix them. Vatsalya Gopis are separate, Madhurya Gopis are separate. Sakya Rasa and Dasya Rasa, they have their own flavors, their own ways of worshipping the Lord, serving the Lord. So if you just overlap the rasas, Mahaprabhu is not very happy with that. So Mahaprabhu is very strict with philosophy, right? So that's about the fourth aspect of Mahaprabhu's mercy. Fifth aspect, Rasadaya. He distributes rasas to all of us. How? Let us see. Today I'm going to extend the class slightly because Gauranga was coming very soon. So Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu distributed the knowledge of rasas to the whole world through his dear devotees Svarūpa Gosvāmī and Sanatana Gosvāmī. Rupa and Sanatana, the empowered representatives of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu. They are like the soldiers of Mahaprabhu who wrote several books presenting the philosophy of rasa. Especially Rupa Goswami wrote Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu taught Rupa Goswami all the principles of devotional service when he met him in Prayag, the Shashtamedha Ghat. Then Mahaprabhu also gave the teachings of different rasas to Sanatana Goswami. He met him in Varanasi. So like that, Mahaprabhu empowered his representatives to write devotional literatures and especially about different rasas in which we can connect with the Lord. So, Anarpita Chirim Chirat Karunaya Avatiranaha Kalau Samarpayitim Unnata Ujjvala Rasam Swabhakti Shriyam. So Mahaprabhu actually has come to give us Unnata Ujjvala Rasa, to give us the rasa by which we can connect with the Lord, we can serve the Lord, we can establish a relationship with the Lord. That is especially the Braja Bhakti. Vrindavaniyam rasa keli vartam kalena luktam nija shakti muktah sancharya rupe vyatanot punahsa prabhur vidhau prakivaloka srishtim. So Vrindavaniyam rasa keli vartam. So as time progressed, with the passage of time, the knowledge of rasas has been lost. The remembrance of Krishna's pastimes has been lost. Mahaprabhu, Krishna appeared in this world and he performed so many pastimes, but people have forgotten them. And even the pastime places are also lost. But by Mahaprabhu's mercy, all these pastime places and the pastimes were revived and people started reconnecting with them. So through Mahaprabhu's mercy and also through the works of Rupa and Sanatana. Next. There are many such shlokas. This also is a very beautiful shloka. Kalena vrindavana keli varta lupte titam khapayitam visishyam krupamrutayana abhishishe cha devaha tatraiva rupam cha sanatanam cha. Kalena vrindavana keli varta. By the passage of time, the Vrindavana Keli Varta, the topics of Vrindavan pastimes have been lost. But Mahaprabhu revived them through Rupa and Sanatana. It's similar that what we spoke. So, and by Mahaprabhu's mercy, even fallen people, materialistic people, unqualified people, ignorant people also will be elevated from their position and they will be able to describe Mahaprabhu's pastimes. Saprasidatu Chaitanya Devo yasya prasadatah tallila varnane yogyah sadyah syat adhamopyayam. So by Mahaprabhu's mercy, tallila varnane yogyah. Yogyata means qualification. We will get the qualification to describe Krishna by Mahaprabhu's mercy. Next, okay, we'll go to the sixth aspect. Chittarpitonmadaya. By Mahaprabhu's mercy, there is Unmada. Unmada is oftentimes understood as madness, but it can also be seen as jubilation, joy, madness that came out of joy, out of ecstasy of Krishna Prema. So Mahaprabhu's mercy will make us ecstatic in loving Krishna. So Mahaprabhu bestows that ecstasy. Hearing all the activities of the Lord, of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu, causes great jubilation and happiness to the hearer. So there is a beautiful shloka. Shruyatam shruyatam nityam giyatam giyatam muda chintyatam chintyatam bhaktah chaitanya charitamritam. Shruyatam shruyatam nityam. Always hear Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Giyatam giyatam muda. With great happiness, always glorify Mahaprabhu's pastimes. Chintyatam chintyatam bhaktah. And also remember them, contemplate on them. So you do Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, all three of Mahaprabhu's pastimes. Chaitanya Charitamrita. A very sweet shloka, right? Hasini, you can recite. Shruyatam, Shruyatam, Nityam.
Shruyatam Shruyatam Nityam
Giyatam, Giyatam, Mudam.
Giyatam Giyatam Buddha
Chintyatam, Chintyatam, Bhaktah.
Chintatam Chintatam Bhaktas
Chaitanya Charitamritam.
Chaitanya Charitamritam. Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Divya Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu.
Right.
श्रूयतां श्रूयतां नित्यं गीयतां गीयतां मुदा चिन्त्यतां चिन्त्यतां भक्तश्चैतन्यचरितामृतम्. Thank you.
By hearing Mahaprabhu's pastimes or by remembering Mahaprabhu's pastimes, by glorifying Mahaprabhu's pastimes, we become very happy. So, Aganya Dhanya Chaitanya Gananam Prema Vanyaya Nimye Dhanya Janasvanta Maruhu Shashvat Arupata. So, Mahaprabhu's devotees are also very merciful. Aganya Dhanya Chaitanya. So, Mahaprabhu, along with his devotees, which are innumerable, Mahaprabhu's devotees are innumerable. So, they all have inundated the whole world with mercy, with Krishna prema. Aganya Dhanya Chaitanya. Aganya means you cannot count them. Dhanya means very fortunate. All the fortunate, innumerable associates of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu have created prema vanya. They have created a flood of prema, Krishna prema. Vanya means flood. And they are giving this to anybody and everybody. They are not seeing the qualification. Sri Lakshmi will decide this. Patra patra vicharanahi nahi sthana sthan yeyaha payataha kari premadan.
Patra patra vicharanahi nahi stana
Yeyaha payataha kari premadan.
Yeyana payatana kari premadana.
So patra apatra vicharanahi. Patra means one who is qualified. Apatra means one who is not qualified. So the Lord doesn't discriminate. Mahaprabhu and his associates do not discriminate who is qualified and who is not qualified. They give opportunity to everyone to receive Krishna. So now next aspect of Mahaprabhu's mercy. Shashvat Bhakti Vinodaya. He always stimulates devotional service. So by Mahaprabhu's mercy, we become inspired to perform bhakti. Our inspiration to continue on the path of Bhakti Yoga will remain always only by Mahaprabhu's mercy. And Mahaprabhu is merciful enough to keep us in the path of Bhakti Yoga. Takes care of our due to covering of Maya, sometimes we forget our relationship with Krishna. And Mahaprabhu gifted us this Bhakti Yoga, through which we can revive that relationship, we can remain in that relationship. So when Lord Caitanya met his devotees, bade them farewell, he would fervently urge them, please perform Bhakti unto Krishna, please chant the holy names of Krishna. You know what does he say? Another shloka. This one says, Hariya Kara Sada Krishna Sankirtan, Krishna Nama Krishna Katha, Krishna Aradhan. So you go home and perform Sada Krishna Sankirtan, always chant the holy names of Krishna. Whenever Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu meets his devotees, especially Bengal devotees or many other householder devotees in South India, Mahaprabhu has this constant message. Mahaprabhu has this simple message. Dhareya, we go home. Karag Sada Krishna Sankirtan, always chant the holy names of Krishna. Krishna Nama, chant Krishna's name. Krishna Katha, discuss about Krishna. Krishna Aradhan, worship Krishna. Something like Manmana Bhavamad Bhakto Madhyaji Mahamaskuru. So Mahaprabhu instructed everyone to do Bhakti Yoga. That's why he is Shashvat Bhakti Vinodaya. Apani Karibu Bhakta Bhava Angikare. Apani Achari Bhakti Sikhai Musabhare. So Mahaprabhu is not just instructing us to perform Bhakti. Krishna told, Satatam Kirtayam Tomam, we should perform Bhakti. He is instructing us to perform Bhakti. He says, Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Praja. Ananyasantayam Tomam Vedanaha Paripasati. Manmana Bhavamad Bhakto Madhyaji Mahamaskuru. Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Yome Bhaktya Prayachati. Like that he is speaking so many shlokas and instructing us to perform Bhakti. But Mahaprabhu is not just instructing to perform Bhakti, he is personally performing Bhakti and showing us how to perform Bhakti. So as Mahaprabhu, Krishna appeared as a devotee and he is personally performing Bhakti. Apani Achari Bhakti Sikhai Musabhare. I will do it and then instruct it. Apane na kaile dharma sikhana nayai. Yeita Siddhanta Gita Bhagavati Gai. So Mahaprabhu thought that I will personally perform this dharma, paro dharma of Krishna Bhakti and then speak. If I don't do, others will not follow. So this is what Gita is speaking, and this is what Bhagavatam is also speaking. So Gita and Bhagavatam are speaking to us that unless we practice it, we cannot speak to others. Okay. So what is it, shloka? Yadyadacharati sreshtah tatta devetaro janah sayat pramanam purute lokas tadanuvartati. So whatever sreshta people, means great people in the society perform, other people tend to follow, right? So that is teaching by one's own example. So Mahaprabhu thought that, okay, I will do it by my own example. So next, 8th shloka, 8th aspect. So 7th aspect we saw Mahaprabhu inspires us to perform bhakti. And Mahaprabhu also bestows the accompanying joy and ecstasy of bhakti. Right? So by Mahaprabhu's mercy, we will relish bhakti. So there are two things. You perform your sadhana and you relish that sadhana. You chant the holy names and you relish chanting the holy names. You read Bhagavatam, okay, as a matter of duty, whatever. But you also become very happy reading Bhagavatam. Okay. So Mahaprabhu bestows that happiness of doing bhakti. In bhakti there are 9 processes: Sravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnoha, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Saksham, Atmanivedanam. So there are so many ways in which we can perform bhakti. Mahaprabhu inspires us to perform that bhakti. Okay, and he also gives us the specific joy that we experience by doing that bhakti. So sukham kartum api, right? So Mahaprabhu gives that joy also. Samadaya. So the conditioned entity artificially identifies himself as master, enjoyer, controller, proprietor. But only by bhakti we can give up that mentality and recognize Krishna as the supreme proprietor, maintainer, controller, enjoyer, master. This is a very beautiful shloka. Krishna dasa abhimanaye ananda sindhu koti brahma sukhana he tara eka bindu. Krishna dasa abhimana. The abhiman means the identity of being a dasa of Krishna is Ananda Sindhu. It's an ocean of happiness. Right? That kind of ocean of happiness is not available in Brahma Sutra. So the position of being a servant of Krishna, devotee of Krishna, is aspired by Krishna also. Why did Lord Krishna come in the form of Lord Caitanya Mahāprabhu? Because he is attracted to his devotees. Devotees are attracted to Krishna and they relish serving Krishna. And Krishna becomes intrigued. He is very curious. What great happiness my devotees are deriving by serving me. What's there in me? So let me accept their position. Let me become a devotee and become Krishna conscious. Okay? And let me relish Krishna consciousness. See, sugar does not know its sweetness. A person who eats sugar can know his sweetness. Right? So laddu does not know how sweet it is. When you eat it, you understand its taste. Similarly, Krishna doesn't know the extent of his own sweetness. Only his devotees. And amongst all the devotees, Srimati Radharani is the topmost. So Krishna thought, if I have to relish my own sweetness, I need to accept the position of devotees. And amongst all the devotees, Radharani is the topmost. So let me accept the position of Radharani. She is serving me and I am receiving her service, but her happiness in serving me is 10 million times more than my happiness in receiving her service. Something interesting. So to know what is the extent of her happiness, I must become hers. Okay, I should become like her. So with this intention, Krishna accepted the mode of Lord Chaitanya. So Krishna's incarnation as Lord Chaitanya is a testimony for Radharani's love. It's a testimony for the glory of Bhakti Yoga. Fine. So, okay, I will go to the next aspect of Mahaprabhu's mercy. Madhurya Maryadaya. So this is another most important aspect of Mahaprabhu's mercy. So Mahaprabhu appeared to glorify this conjugal love, the mood of rendering service to Krishna like a gopi, right? Madhurya Rasa. So Mahaprabhu's one of the most important agendas of Mahaprabhu in appearing in this incarnation is to glorify Madhurya Rasa. So through Ramananda, Lord Caitanya Mahāprabhu glorified Madhurya Rasa. So, and of course, also through Svarūpa Dāmodara Gosvāmī, he himself also did it. So there are 5 rasas by which we can connect to the Lord: Shanta Rasa, Dasya Rasa, Sakhya Rasa, Vatsalya Rasa, and Madhurya Rasa. Of all these rasas, Madhurya is the topmost. Fine. So Madhurya Rasa is the topmost, and Srimati Radharani is the topmost of all the Madhurya Bhaktas of Krishna. So Mahaprabhu wanted to experience the mood of Radharani. Shri Radhaya Pranaya Mahima Kidrisho Vanagaiva Svadyo Yenat Bhutamadhurima Kidrisho Vamadiyah Saukhyam Chasyamadanu Bhavataha Kidrisham Vetilobha Tadbhavadhyah Samadyanishati Garbhasindhau Harinduh. So Krishna wanted to understand what is the Pranaya Mahima, what is the greatness of Radharani's love, and what is my own sweetness that Radharani relishes, and what is Radharani's happiness when she renders service to him. To understand these 3 things, Krishna appeared as Lord Chaitanya in the mood of Radharani. So now you see, even Krishna desires to understand the greatness of her love and experience the happiness that she obtains when serving Krishna. That's why he accepted the mode of Radharani and became Lord Chaitanya. Now, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, what does he say? Ye yathama prapadyante tamstathaiva bhajamyaham. The way you approach me, in a similar way, I reciprocate with your approach. But in the case of the gopis, Mahaprabhu, Krishna said, I cannot reciprocate with your approach. Yethama prapadyante tamstathaiva bhajamyaham shloka doesn't work in my relationship with you. I cannot fulfill this promise. I declare to the whole world, to Bhagavad Gita, the way you approach me, I reciprocate with you. But the gopis approached Krishna with pure love, but Krishna could not reciprocate to that extent that gopis have loved him. So Krishna said, gopis, you be satisfied with your own love for me. I don't have the capacity to reciprocate with you. I don't have the capacity. I'm bankrupt. So, Naparaye ham niravadya samyujam. So, I cannot repay you. So, Shivaram Maharaj wrote a book. The book's title is Naparaye. Okay, I cannot repay you. So, the Braja Gopis have rendered such service to Krishna, such helpless service to Krishna. They gave up everything. Patisutanvayad bhratrubandhavad ati vilanghate nyachutagata gati virastavo gita mohita kitavayoshitaha kasyajya nishi. Pati, Suta, Bhatru, Bandhava, all of them, they have left. All the gopis have abandoned everything just for the sake of serving Krishna. So, Ativilanghete Achyutagataha, they have crossed over all the boundaries of social customs and Vedic regulations and family ties, and they have come to serve Krishna. Right? So, Krishna said, no one has done a sacrifice to this degree. You're simple village girls, but you have left everything for my sake, and I cannot do anything to reciprocate with you. We are Ekeha. So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, right? Yavasayatmika buddhir Ekeha Gurunandaraha Bahushakha Yanantascha Buddhayo Avyavasayanaha. So gopis are Vyavasayatmika buddhi. They have one-pointed devotion to Krishna. But Krishna has Bahushakha Yanantascha. Not only gopis, I need to reciprocate with Mathura Vasis also, Dwarka Vasis also, Hastinapur Vasis also, Sargalok Vasis also. He has so many agendas, so many people are there in queue. He has to attend to all of them. But gopis, they have nothing. When they saw, once gopis saw Vishnu in a 400 form, they said, oh, Vishnu? Did you see Vishnu? That's not our humble obeisances, but did you see Krishna? They asked him. Once Krishna manifested himself in a 400 form, just to trick gopis. So the gopis just offered obeisance and then left. They were searching for Krishna. Radharani came there. She saw Krishna in a 400 form, Vishnu form. Seeing Radharani's love and emotions, Krishna could not retain his 400 form. 2 hands disappeared immediately. Okay, as soon as he saw Radharani, two hands just immediately disappeared, and Krishna appeared in a normal two-handed form. He could not retain his form. So just like Putana came to deceive everybody, all the Brajavasis, and she wanted to give poisonous milk to Krishna and then kill Krishna. So she appeared in a very beautiful motherly form, but as soon as Krishna started sucking her milk, she could not retain that form. Right? She came like a demoness, right? She appeared in a 12-mile long form. So, like your real colors are revealed. You cannot fake for a long time when somebody very powerful comes in front of you. In the power of in front of the power of Radharani's love for Krishna, Krishna cannot retain his two extra hands. Right? Fine. Let me manifest as Krishna only. Vishnu form doesn't work in front of Radharani. So now Krishna becomes humble. Krishna acts like a puppet in Radharani's hands. So Krishna becomes a subservient of Radharani's love. He becomes controlled, captivated, captured by Radharani's love. So he thought that Radharani loved me so much, but I could not sufficiently reciprocate with her. At least let me glorify her love by accepting her mood. So what Lord Caitanya Mahāprabhu did during Ratha Yatra, Jagannātha Ratha Yatra, is this only. In Ratha Yatra, Mahaprabhu he was absorbed in the mood of gopis. So in Ratha Yatra, what you see is Jagannātha Purī temple is like a place of Aishwarya pastimes, and Gundicha temple represents Vrindavan, the place of Madhurya pastimes. Jagannath ji is Krishna, who went to Dwarka or Mathura, and Lord Caitanya Mahāprabhu is Radharani. So he is pulling Krishna, please come to Gundicha, please come to Vrindavan. Right? What are you doing in Dwarka? You please come to Vrindavan. So all the shlokas spoken by Lord Caitanya Mahāprabhu during Rath Yatra, they are filled with emotions of Radharani. So Mahaprabhu's dancing in the Rath Yatra festival, and Mahaprabhu's emotions in Gambhira, and Mahaprabhu's overall demeanor in the last 18 years of his manifest pastimes are just a testimony for Madhurya Rasa, especially testimony for Radha's love for Krishna. So that in itself, just to discuss Rath Yatra pastime itself is a very deep thing. We will take ages to describe that. So Mahaprabhu glorified this Radha Prema, Radharani's love for Krishna, to the highest possible extent. I spoke very, very little about that, but that topic itself is very deep and very heart-touching. So we can do it some other time. So last aspect, Amanda Udaya, he awakens all good fortune. We have seen 9 aspects of Mahaprabhu's mercy. Definitely all these 9 aspects will lead to the 10th aspect of awakening all good fortune. And the greatest fortune that anyone could have is to be established in eternal relationship with Krishna. And Mahaprabhu definitely enables that to happen. Okay, through his teachings, through his activities, through his interactions, through his mercy, Mahaprabhu awakens good fortune in the lives of all the devotees. Right? So he's the most merciful incarnation. Nama Sankirtana Haite Sarvanartha Nasha Sarva Shubhodaya Krishna Premira Ullasa. So just by a simple method of Nama Sankirtana, of just chanting the holy names of Krishna, he gives Krishna Prema, and that automatically awakens all good fortune. Sarva Shubha Udaya. All Shubhas, all auspiciousness will automatically manifest in the lives of devotees. So these are 10 aspects of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy. Kaviraj Goswami says, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Daya Karaha Vichar Vichara Karite Chitte Pabe Chamatkar. So just consider how merciful Lord Chaitanya is. Vichar karo. If you do that vichar, Chitte Pabe Chamatkar, you'll wonder at Mahaprabhu's mercy. How can somebody be so merciful like this? Right? So that is the nature of Mahaprabhu's mercy. So if there are any other things, I will just directly recite this shloka once again and conclude. Helo dhunita khedaya vishadaya pronmila dhamodaya Shamyak Shastra Vivadaya Rasadaya Chittarpitoन्मादaya Shashvat Bhakti Vinodaya Samadaya Madhurya Maryadaya Shri Chaitanya Dayanidhe Tavadaya Bhuyadamandodaya. So, there are 10 characteristics of Lord Chaitanya's mercy that we discussed today. First, Helo Dhunita Khedaya. He drives away all lamentation. Next, Vishadaya. He purifies everything. Pronmila Damodaya. He awakens transcendental bliss. Fourth, Shamyak Shastra Vivadaya. He mitigates all disagreements of scriptures and reconciles all the apparent contradictions in scriptures and gives us the essential understanding. Fifth, Rasadaya. He distributes rasas, transcendental modes. Sixth, Chitta Arpita Unmadaya. He causes great joy and jubilation in heart. Then Shashvat Bhakti Vinodaya. He constantly inspires and stimulates bhakti in us. And he also gives us the accompanied joy and ecstasy in bhakti, samadaya. Ninth, Madhurya Maryadaya. He glorifies this conjugal, this love of the gopis of Vrindavan to the highest possible extent. Mahaprabhu's appearance itself is a testimony for the love of the gopis of Vrindavan. The last aspect is Amandodaya. He awakens all misfortune. So with this few meditations on Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu's extreme mercy on all of us, let us try to celebrate this Gaura Purnima festival this year. So, festival has a lot of things we can do. We can eat prasad. Of course, that we have to fast till the evening. Then we take prasad. There is abhishek also. There is dressing also. There is darshan also. But what makes our festival very successful is when we remember the Lord's pastimes, and when we expose ourselves to His mercy with that knowledge that He is very merciful. Yes, our senses function in a very nice manner while engaging in all services in the festival. But when our mind also gets absorbed in the mood of the festival, which is basically to acknowledge Krishna's mercy, acknowledge Mahaprabhu's mercy, then that festival is very successful, right? So Mahaprabhu has given us a lot. Mahaprabhu has given us the holy name. The foremost gift to all of us is the holy name. So we can recommit ourselves to the path of Bhakti Yoga, and we can intensify our commitment to chant the holy names of the Lord as attentively as possible, right? And also trying to increase our attentiveness day by day. Our chanting is good or not depends on whether my chanting is better than yesterday's chanting. Okay, whether my reading is better than yesterday's reading, whether my consciousness is better than yesterday's consciousness. So we can try to constantly upgrade ourselves, and festivals give us great opportunities to rejuvenate our commitments to the path of Bhakti Yoga. So I'm very grateful to all of you for joining us in the last 3 sessions where we discussed the meaning of Sachi Sutashtakam and also the 9 features of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu's lotus feet, 9 glories, and 10 characteristics of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy. So I didn't discuss many pastimes. We are more into description of Gaura Tattva and Gaura Prema only. But there are so many pastimes. Now we have whole year to read those pastimes. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity and giving your association. And you please bless me also, so that I can be in the right spirits and right consciousness during the Gaura Purnima festival. Thank you very much. Gaura Purnima Mahamahotsav ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.